Am I wrong for having Worthy wide receiver 8, regardless of 40 time? He was fast, but struggled with press and being physical. And I have Mitchell and Thomas ahead of him more than Franklin. Wow, I do not have Mitchell ahead of him at all. I can get the argument for Thomas. 8 seems a little light for me, but not a ton, Nick. Do you have your rankings ready, Dan?
I do. Actually, not based on the combine, but measuring that with what Worthy does, I have him as my wide receiver 4. I have moved him up over Keon Coleman.
Okay.
And I understand, again, everyone has their own opinions on players, but he's much more physical after the catch than people give him credit for. There's a slew of clips on Twitter showing you that he's more than okay driving through contact and delivering hits. The big problem that he has, in my opinion, isn't even the press, because he's not going to see that very much. It's concentration drops. They're everywhere. And 2 years ago, he played with a broken hand. So he had 7-9 drops. Okay, I'll give you a break there. But you had 5 this past year, and I watched them. I don't have a problem with the technique. It's more of just I'm going to go try and make something happen. And sometimes you got to slow down just a little bit. Rashee Rice had that problem too. Let's not forget. Like, it does take some time, especially when you're in a role where you want to make plays. And Texas is you go make a big play. So I'm not going to, you have him as wide receiver 8. That's fine. Thomas, I am very wary of. I'm very wary of Brian Thomas. Lots of goes, lots of hitches, lots of fades. He caught 10 touchdowns this year on go balls.
Yeah.
10 of them. Okay.
I don't see crossers. I don't see digs. I did see a couple of slants. I don't remember what I was watching. It was for Daniels, but you think he can run a slant decently? No? Okay.
I don't trust his consistency with his hip movement, and I don't think he sells routes. Like, I love his ability downfield in terms of body control, leaping ability, and hands. I think he has all of that. Tell him again. Tell me the last time the Chiefs used that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He changes for you at the top.
I have 3 first-round grades. You guys know who they are.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate you. I would take another look at Mitchell, and I think you're totally justified at having Worthy there. Everybody's got their own kind of take on how guys go.
For sure.
That's all right. And Franklin's a little thin as well. Everybody's got drawbacks. I think in this offense in particular, the physicality part I'm not as concerned about because of Rashee's presence, to tell you the truth.
That's fair.
Why is Veach only looking for second-round pick for Sneed? Come on, man. Well, it's not that he's only looking for it. That's what he's getting offered at Jimmy, at least if the rumors are correct. It's not like he's saying, like he's advertising, hey, I only need a second to get rid of him. That's not the case. That's what he's been offered so far, and that's pretty normal. Anybody who's worth a 1, you're going to get offers for 2, and you're going to be like, come on, let's move that up. He's worth a 1, and then it's a negotiation path is basically what it is.
Yeah.
Sean, Dan, why not just go full crumb and get the mullet?
No, trust me, you guys don't want to see that. My wife absolutely doesn't want to see that. So that's a big no. I don't want to see that. Like, no, we're good. I appreciate the idea though.
Someday. Knicks fan, thank you, sir. Nice to see you, and thanks for the support. What wide receiver is the best fit for Kansas City? If we have our pick of the litter, it's Malik Neighbors. It's Malik Neighbors with a bullet, because he can do everything down the field, catching through. On the slant routes, the yards after the contact. They have Rashee Rice. He can. My big struggle with this is how are they going to use him next year? Is it going to be the same? Because that does change things. If it's going to be the same, then you don't necessarily need the yak guy. You go and you get Rome Odunze. He was a really good route runner, physical. He put on weight this past year to get better at the catch point, which he did get better at the catch point. Yep. And then he trimmed that weight off to run his 40 time, which was fantastic for him at 220 pounds. So, he's like the ideal fit if we're going to do the same thing with Rashee Rice. But I'm going to, again,
go to the well of Rasheed's going to be asked to do a little bit more on the outside next year, which again, he was getting about 50-50 slot outside near the end of the season. So if we go based on that, if he's going to play the X a little bit more and you're going to ask someone else to be more of the space player, it's for me, Xavier Worthy still. I think that Worthy is the guy. Again, because he does take the top off, obviously. He's got 4.21 speed. And yes, it's real play speed. It's not just track halfway. He's legit.
Yeah, especially go back to 22. He ran away from entire defenses.
It's nuts. 0-60 is the fastest in this class. You guys saw it. So that's where I'm at right now.
I agree with you. I like that. I prefer Odunze, and I do feel like I would still, if I had a chance to get Odunze at 15 or 20, I would do it. He's a top 10 player in my opinion. Has been for a while. But if I could put him on here, I'm not as worried because I think he's good enough, Yak, and particularly over the middle, that he and she could swap out and share the X responsibilities. You know what I mean? But I agree with you with taking the top off, and I would say in lieu of that, if Rasheed is going to be out there and say Worthy goes top 20.
Yeah.
I would say McConkey's probably the next guy for me because of his ability to be in between the hashes and cross the formations and do all that work as well.
Can still take the top off. He still has that speed. He is an ex-track athlete. Like, let's not forget.
Oh, yeah.
He was asked to do something different at Georgia, which was win. And he won all the time. Go watch Ladd McConkey against every single top first round wide cornerback. He makes him look bad. He makes him look bad. He wins. Like that dude, I'm becoming more on the idea that if he's there at 32, he's going to be on the Chiefs.
I can get fully behind that because of it, like you said, the way that it fits into the puzzle with Rasheed. Yeah, I'm totally with you. And if you look at him, I think Odunze, McCaffrey, and what was Worthy's 10 split? It was 149. That's 149.
It's unreal. 149 is it's legit. He is the fastest 0 to 60 receiver in the class. Just is.
It's nuts. But McConkey came in at 152. And so especially if you're talking about the slants, the crossers, the intermediates behind the linebackers, 152 gets it done and then some. I mean, you could even take, I think Rasheed came in at 157. So there's plenty of room there to get more explosive and quicker. And I think we saw, correct me if I'm wrong, I felt like the quick game was the direction that they went that worked. I think they're going to have to double down on that next year as well.
I'm 100% with you, especially because, we'll see what happens with the roster construction, but I'm sure. Guys, we are coming up here on the hour. Ryan's not feeling very well, so we are going to hit all of these great super chats. Thank you guys so much for the support, and we'll get you guys out of here, and most importantly, get Ryan some rest.
Thank you. Dang, I'm bad at this. Daryl, can Wilkins and Jones, can you get them together? Probably not. That with Sneed, even without Sneed, that's pretty insurmountable.
For sure.
Steven, Matt Derrick brought up an idea. Charlie Heck is available. What would it cost salary-wise, and would the Chiefs do it? Charlie's a good line player. I don't think it would cost you that much. I don't know if I know his dad wants to coach him. I don't know if that dynamic is a plus or not. Where are you on Charlie?
Charlie's fine. Is he improving their offensive line or their tackle room? Probably a little bit depth-wise, but he's a depth player, right? And again, you don't know what the dynamic is for him and his dad. It doesn't always work for coaches in the NFL coaching their sons. So maybe they don't want to worry about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Sorry, Pop. AD Mitchell is this year's Karlaftis at 32. Okay, Jimmy, you said it first. We'll see if it happens.
We'll find out.
I guess all the pundits said it first, but still, I'm with you. Donnie, thank you, buddy. How do you guys feel about Johnny Wilson as a possibility? Do you think that do you guys like that RB scored on 999 on Raz? I forgot his name. Raz is just a historical listing of guys that run well. There's always going to be somebody that's going to get up there. It's how you combine it and how you use it on the field. That's why the matrix is totally different than Raz. And that's honestly why I think it's more important in terms of how a guy fits in an offense. But I don't remember who that was. Was the kid from starts with a G, right?
Isaac Garendo from Louisville. Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't watched his tape yet, so
I haven't either.
I haven't watched him.
Although Thrash is on my list, so I'll get to see that offense, right? But
Yeah, for sure. And
I mean,
about Johnny Wilson, yes, I think that it's a possibility. It just depends on the round and his willingness to make a transition. Because if it doesn't work at wide receiver, you can use him as a tight end. It's there for the taking. It's going to be up to his willingness to make a transition if it doesn't work.
Yeah. Thomas, great to hear you got to go to the combine. Everybody talks about the connections you make there. Are there any new connections you made? Yeah. Hey,
thank you, Thomas.
In the room, right?
I appreciate that. I mean, there's a couple people that I met just from Twitter. Like I didn't meet a ton of GMs or scouts. I'm probably going to meet some scouts next year, though. I have it on good authority that a couple of my buddies know some scouts, so we'll probably get there. But I met Derek Clausen, who you guys know him, works over at the Bleacher Report, and with Matt Harmon, he does his quarterback evaluations. Arif Hassan, who used to work at The Athletic, a couple of people there too. But yeah, it's not a crazy long list. And I met all the TDN people as well. I met just about every single person that works there and their COO page, Dominguez, I believe. So yeah, I met quite a few people.
Well done. Knicks fan, I'm already sick of the Caleb hype.
That's fair.
I got to tell you, like I had a piece I was going to put on 33 for Saturday, and I decided to pull it because it was sour grapes. I don't like the whole concept of, hey, we're not going to participate. We're not going to play your game. We're better than the NFL and the combine process, and we're only going to give medical information to like the teams that we want to go to.
Yeah.
Piss off. That's not how this works, buddy. You're not that damn good. So shut up. Anyway, I pulled that piece because I sounded like a grumpy old man like I just did. So
there you go.
What do you think is the best compensation for Sneed? Thanks, LeVon.
Top 50 pick. I think that's a reasonable expectation. On the high side, I think, in the 30s. I think that would be something they could also get done.
Yeah, I'm with you. I get Caleb has looked great in college, but damn, Mahomes wasn't even Mahomes coming out of college. And he and Reed were the perfect storm. And that's the thing. I wouldn't want to go to Chicago either. Do you think I'm going to get developed there? I don't. People want to talk trash on Bryce, but Frank got fired halfway through the season. Bryce didn't have a chance to get developed. Like, it's about the staff that brings you in as well. Nobody walks in and becomes Mahomes.
What happens if Eberflus gets fired next year and they wipe out the staff? That's on the table, guys. I was about to say, that's very much on the table. I don't believe in Matt Eberflus as a head coach. I don't. I think they're going to be worse than people expect, and he's going to get fired. What happens then?
Yeah, no. But I will say, I would still go after him. I would move Justin Fields. I would not. I don't think that's salvageable in Chicago.
No, I agree.
Thanks, Knicks, man. Tom, thank you, buddy. Who have you seen coming out, regardless of position, that would help the Chiefs the most picking up third downs? I like that.
That's a good question. And yes, I did have a good time at the combine, Tom. Thank you very much for asking, and always appreciate your support. Lad McConkey, 100%. You need a first down on third down. Whew. If Travis Kelce's not open, that's your guy. He's going to be open. He'll find the spot. I think that a guy like Jacob Cowing offers that as well. A good space player, but Jamari Thrash is another player that's going to do the same type of short to intermediate getting open. And then my guy Ricky Pearsall is a route running specialist who I'm a big fan of, who also blew up the combine with things people didn't expect from him. So those are a couple of names. And then as we get further into day 3, there'll be some guys there too.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I see a lot of people putting Ricky in the first now. I don't see that happening.
0% chance that happens.
Okay. I think media is overreacting, but I do like him as a day 2 prospect, and I think he would help this team. So I like this.
Yeah, I think he's firmly in the beginning of round 3, if not like the end of round 2. I think he might, because of his athletic testing, might go there.
Yeah, I'm with you. That makes perfect sense to me. Thanks, Tom. William, thank you. Who besides Worthy has the deep ball tracking and field stretchability ability that Casey needs for drafting free agent? If Dan trains for the 40, does he beat 15 seconds?
Yes, for sure.
Absolutely. If he trains, he's
if I train for the 40, I can probably get around 5 seconds. I'll be very honest with you. I did that in high school, and I'm a good runner. I got some speed, so you wouldn't know it by looking at me, but I do have some speed. What do you think about the first part of his question?
That's one of the things that I'm really concentrated on this year, and I'm probably giving a couple guys a couple boosts in their grades because of their ability to track the ball. Like I know I'm way higher on Jalen Polk than you are, but he tracks the ball excellently over his head.
Perfect, great.
He has to. Dunze, McMillan has been the guy that's been a little bit under on that offense, but I think that he can. Who else stood out to me? I'm trying to look through my notes real quick. Neighbors does that as well from what I've seen, although I haven't done a ton of film on him. You've done way more than me. I liked the kid from Tulane,
Jaquan Jackson.
I think he tracks pretty well over his head as well. I went back and I watched after the Senior Bowl a couple of games, but I can't get hardly any film on him, so I had to watch broadcast. So I'm not 100% on that. Do you have guys that stand out to you?
Yeah, Jermaine Burton is one of the guys that tracks. It might be the second best deep ball player in the class. Like legit, I'm a little surprised he ran what he did. I thought he'd get under 4.4s, but regardless, he plays among the top in this class. And I mean, where is he? Where'd he go? I think Roman Wilson's a fantastic deep ball tracker as well. Devontae Walker, who's not a very good, well-rounded wide receiver, but is excellent tracking the ball down the field. That's like the only thing he does well. So it's his calling card. And that's Brendan Rice. Brendan Rice is a fantastic downfield player and uber physical. Ran a 4.5, which I didn't expect to see from him. So there's a couple of players right there.
Yeah, and that's plenty. Any of those guys, and the vast majority of those are going to be day 2 guys. So I think there's plenty of opportunity for the Chiefs. Thank you, Will. Appreciate you. Adam, thank you as always, pal. Couldn't the Chiefs get more than a second for Sneed with Jalen Ramsey getting traded for 2 firsts and a 4th? Jalen had 3 years of what LJ did last year, so it's a little bit harder. But when we say he could get a second, I fully expect that also contains a 4th or a 5th or something.
Yes.
It would be multiple picks. And I do think if somebody really wants it, he could sneak into a first-round consideration. But that's a playoff team, and I just don't know if anybody's going to be willing to do that to trade to the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm with you. And that's a hope. Again, you're hoping at this point you get that top 50 pick with multiples because people won't want to offer that first because you're the Chiefs. So you're hoping for the second and then a bunch after that to really help.